Hey guys, Dan Young here with Dan's Millionaire Code. Man, we're just pounding out the podcast with the titans of each particular field. And today I've brought in some friends who, and this is interesting. If you go and you see what our like salespeople and all the marketing people and accounting people are drinking, it's bucked up. Helps us get through the day. Good stuff in it and no sugar too. So it's, won't really affect the blood sugars too much for me, at least. And I like that. And it gives me energy. So I love it. Awesome. These guys are amazing. So we've got Ryan and Jeff Gardner, and we've done a lot of different events and things like that with you guys and collabs and things. It's been just super awesome. But to give you guys an idea, let's see. In 2016, these guys got this thing rolling, right? So it's not that long ago, and it is scaled to be the #1 energy and pre-workout super drink in the universe right now.
In the universe, I like that.
In the universe. 45,000 plus stores now selling your goodies.
Yep.
Which is great. And being I'm a computer nerd, energy drinks are kind of like part of our culture. And I've tried everything and had everything sent to me. And what's in my personal little fridge back here underneath Iron Man are the bucked up. So this is not a paid endorsement, guy. I'm just telling you what I drink. So,
but we'll pay you later if you need it.
Maybe in bucked ups.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe bring a few more for the boys.
We'll drop off a pallet.
Maybe we can send some to our customers and followers and things like that. Maybe we'll do a contest or something.
Yeah, giveaway. Something.
All right, guys. So, first question. I've been thinking about this for a long time. Mm-hmm. I mean, I couldn't stay up last night without. I mean, I was up all night thinking about what's your favorite flavor of bucked up.
Man, I really like gin and juice. It's kind of a sleeper. Nobody really goes for that because it doesn't really tell you what it is, but it's a citrus blend one, and you just can never get tired of it. It's super good.
Now you're on the same line as that?
No, I like things a little more tart. Not like my personality, but sour gummy. Sour gummy is my favorite.
Super good too. Yeah. Oh, and so to clarify though, because and I know you guys are asked the same question. Which one's Ryan? Which one's Jeff? Ryan. Jeff.
You got it right this time.
See? See? But even though they, have a similar resemblance, but they definitely have different preferences and flavor.
Yeah, I like this one as well. Cherry candy. Cherry candy. Tastes
I'll drink some of
that. Jolly Rancher. Cherry Jolly Rancher.
You know the one thing I noticed?
Yeah.
There's not like red 40 color
zero coloring in energy drinks. You don't do it. Even in our pre-workouts, we use natural colors.
Oh, okay.
So we don't use the Red Lake 40s or the.
My daughter yells at me because if I am going to eat movie theater candy, she's like, "You can't have any." I'm like, "Why?" And she points out every impurity. She's like, "That's going to cause a tumor." I'm like, "Okay, I can't."
It's like Skittles can no longer be sold in California now. So
really, they're banned?
Yeah. They're banning Skittles.
Wow.
because of all that. And overseas, I happen to travel a lot. They don't sell any Skittles, and there's it's crazy what they can't sell that we sell here in the U.S.
I'm thinking I have crazy ADD guys, so if I shift around a little bit, I was thinking about when you guys tell me a little bit about your story when you were little. Were you guys thinking, "Hey, I'm going to sell the #1 selling energy drink in the universe"?
That definitely wasn't on the list.
Give me maybe a little bit of how you guys get grown and nurtured into the titans of this.
Okay. We grew up on a farm, and I think we realized what we didn't want to do when we grew up. That's about it. We knew we didn't want to be farmers. It's tough work. It's a lot of hard work and labor intensive, and we were just like, man, I don't know if this is for us. My dad actually said, "I'm surprised you don't have horses," and I said, "I do. It's about 110 in the Razor, RZR.
Oh, that's yours.
That's my 110 horses, and I don't have to feed it every day." So
that makes a lot of sense. So you grew up on a farm.
Yeah. Yeah, and basically we just were taught to work really hard, and eventually my parents they started into a different business besides farming, and from a young age we were working 9 to 5 probably since we were 13.
Yeah. First jobs?
Yeah, that was working for my parents actually.
Farm.
So, and they actually ended up owning a jewelry store where they pierce ears and do painted earrings and stuff. And we used to get paid by the piece rate. This was you get paid for every cent that you put on an earring onto a card.
Oh, wow.
Or when we were about 14, our barn burned down, and then that's when my mom shifted and went to work for a jewelry company.
Okay.
And then she ended up doing so well that she owned a piece of the jewelry company.
Whoa.
And then we were doing all the piece rate stuff because they needed it because my mom was selling so well. We started doing all this piece rate stuff. So we were 14, 15 years old making $20 an hour. And at that day, that was really good.
That's a lot, man.
And we were so competitive, we'd try to beat each other and put these earrings onto the cards and things like that.
We've been really, really competitive our whole lives.
So they tried hiring other people to do the job, but they would make like $2 or $3 an hour, but we could make upwards of like $20 an hour.
So you guys are the mass manufacturer. This stuff. One thing I noticed in scaling businesses, this is common with everybody we have come on here, is the lack of variance, and that's quality control. You know, and so that way, if someone has one drink or another, or if I build one computer or another, you kind of know what you're going to get in that effect every time. Did that jewelry thing help you in manufacturing, or?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of ways we learned a lot from that, because that's really where my parents were entrepreneurs and it taught us how to grow a business and everything else. So.
And then also we were like the best quality at doing it and the quickest and quality as well. So,
when we would do it, it would be the
speed and scale.
Speed and scale. Yeah.
Okay, so where does it go from there? From that,
we went on missions. We went on a mission for our church.
Where'd you guys go?
The normal Utah kids do.
He went to Seattle, Washington. I went to Arcadia, California.
Okay,
so
it's the only time we've really been apart.
Yes,
like
the 2 years
we
were apart.
No, because we had another companion with us, but
it was the craziest thing. I remember one time my companion and I got in a little bit of an argument at 9 a.m., like the first part of the day. And I remember at 5 o'clock at night, I'm like realizing, wait, are you still mad at what happened at 9 a.m.? Like with Jeff, we'd get in fist fights 4 times a day. And 5 minutes later, we're best friends. But we'd be going, wait, are you still mad at what happened?
You can't just fight and get it over with when you're missionary companions, you know? He was usually the cause of most of those.
You were the instigator, dude?
Right. He got shipped to Alaska.
And he gaslighted me all the time, just like right now. Just kidding.
So I have a lot of entrepreneurs that come here that serves missions.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them have said, well, it was sales or it was this or learn to work with people. What was like the big takeaway from that experience?
You know, I have some brother-in-laws and things that did not serve a mission. And they thought, if I go for 2 years, I'm going to be losing out on work and making money and things like that. And really,
they're not any further ahead.
They're not further ahead. And we learned so much about, number one, ourselves, and then how to deal with others.
How to adjust.
Even with you, when you have a companion who you don't maybe get along with, and you can't just fight it out. It teaches you how to deal and cope with things. And you learn a lot about yourself and other religions and other people. It's a fantastic experience.
And also there was a lot of things that, like for instance, my mission president taught us a lot of techniques and things that we could do to better ourselves. And I've used and applied some of those same things that we learned, like have a vision, how to do goals, how to spend the money, things like that we learned on our mission that I've applied in our business today.
You guys are super charismatic. I'd say on a 1 to 10 scale, it's like me, we're at 11. Or higher, right? Because you guys remember those of you guys that are older know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Spinal Tap. So, as far as like sales skill, obviously any business is sales.
So what's crazy is after our missions, I went and worked on a sales floor, and I learned how to. They would give us a lead, and they'd put it on our desk and say, "Hey, call on this lead." And we would sell them a coaching and mentoring package, and we'd sell them for $5,000 to $20,000
in about 45 minutes
in a person right over the phone.
It's like boiler room style.
And then I just realized
you have like midgets with Velcro.
No.
Did you guys try to crawl into your Lamborghini? No.
I know what to show that.
But it's like that. But what I realized is the guy who's making all the money is the guy producing the lead. And the next time the lead provider came into our office, guess what I did? I said, "Hey, you're making money now. Let's go to the auction," because we had a dealer's license. And I want to buy you a Mercedes. Let's go. And he did. And when he took me to the auction, I said, I don't want to be on the sales floor forever. I want to learn how to produce leads. And that's how we started. And we eventually ended up running an affiliate network where we drove traffic to people's products and services. So we would have people come into our office all the time and say, I got this product. Will you drive traffic to my website? And we would take a look at their website. And most of the time they were just flat out doo-doo. Right? And we would tell them, you got to do this, 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 and this. Look, we eventually got smart and said, okay, we're not going to do this for everybody else. We need to start doing it for ourselves.
Maybe you can help me out a little bit. We do it pretty good. We do
You do
okay.
awesome.
But you always can learn from
He's
fella.
balling. He's cranking. He just.
Iron sharpens iron, man.
That's right.
That's why you're watching this, right?
That's right. That's right. So we learned how to drive traffic online for people. Well, one day my dad says, hey, I'm taking this really awesome supplement called L-Arginine Plus. And we were like, okay, what does it do? And he goes, it helps me so I have to take less blood pressure medication. It actually helps me lower
Blood pressure.
blood pressure. Yep. Yeah.
Is that in a lot of your supplements?
So that ingredient is one of the ingredients that we use a lot of.
Oh.
So it's funny how this all, as we did this affiliate network, as we started discovering supplements, we used a lot of that experience and a lot of those things that we went through that helped build it up to what Bucked Up is today.
So this guy with L-Arginine comes in, and we said, we're not interested in driving traffic to people's websites anymore. We want to own part of it. So within about a 30, 45 minute, conversation, we owned half the company. And he was doing about $700 a day, but we looked at his website, we saw what he was doing, and we could see a lot of room for improvement. So within 3 weeks of doing this joint venture, we were doing about $3,500 a day.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's a big lift.
Just right within 3 weeks. And
We
then-
told him, just make sure the product's in stock. That's all we want you to focus on, and make sure it gets shipped on time. And that was it.
And so we were going down this road and cranking it out. And then we knew we were paying a lot for pay-per-click. You probably do that.
Expensive.
Yeah,
Yes.
it gets expensive, right? Well, we saw this website. It said larginine.com, and it was just a pure information website. He wasn't selling anything.
Mm-hmm.
And we was like, we got to get this site. It said number
Gotta
one
get
on
that
Google.
domain name.
And we called this guy, and he was in the UK. And we said, hey, how much for your website? We want to put a product on it. And he says, it's not for sale. And we said, come on, everything's for sale. How much?
For the right price. Everything.
So we're like, he said, all right, for the domain name, just larginine.com, $25,000. And we were like, oh man, this is
And
a
at the
stretch.
time, we were like, wow, this is expensive.
Yeah, super stretch for us. And we said, should we take the chance? And we did. And we bought larginine.com, and we were ranking number one overnight on Google.
Yeah,
And
that's
we
a
were the
shortcut.
first
Yeah,
one,
shortcut. And about 2-3 months later, Google shuts off all pay-per-click for nitric oxide because they thought
People were pay-per-clicking nitric oxide for erectile dysfunction. So they're like,
That's what they did with computer tech support.
they did the same
So
thing.
we had a 400-person call center with millions being spent, and we were like doing good support because we support big companies. So we're like, how do we offer that to the consumer? And then Google changed it because all those scammers in India
Yes.
were
Yeah.
like scamming.
Hey, we're here to help you with your computer. Yeah.
yeah. So that's what happened. We bought this, and we were doing 3, 4, and upwards of $5 million a year with this product for
Which is
about 5 years.
L-arginine.
Yeah.
Just like us up.
And we realized, hey, supplements is where it's at.
It can make some good money, and so L-Arginine introduced us to the world of supplements and how products work, and so at that time we saw there was another article that came out in Sports Illustrated, and it said deer antler spray is banned in all professional sports and in the NCAA
And Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
Really Major League Baseball.
Yeah, and it helped athletes get a competitive edge. So we went to GoDaddy and we looked it up, and the domain Deer Antler Spray was available for $6.99.
So we were like,
It's like finding gold,
purchase-
huh?
Yeah.
We're like, wow, why doesn't anybody have this? So Ryan actually sourced all the product out of Florida.
Found a person that sources it from, New Zealand. They have the red stag deer, which contains the most hormone in the velvet.
Oh,
And
yeah.
So they have farms in they also have
You
farms
guys
in
selling that
Florida.
today, too?
Yes, we still sell thousands of
Oh, go
bottles
ahead.
a
Come
week.
down and grab some.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It helps you repair. So what happens is, as you take this, let's say you do a chest day and you stretch and you
Tear the muscle.
tear the muscle. This helps you rebuild and repair it really
It
quick.
works.
Yes. Yeah, very good.
Now, it's
Very
also a libido booster. So be careful.
bonus.
So there's
Be
that,
careful.
that could be a pro or con. It could be a pro or con.
He's not allowed
Is
to
it,
take
like,
it.
is it like Mentos and Coke?
Yeah, it's pretty strong stuff, and the Chinese have been using this for thousands of years. And it's good for fertility and libido and helping you with that.
Yeah.
So and especially recovery, and that's why they banned it. But it's not banned to the normal everyday person.
Yeah.
And so we bought this domain. We bought
We were like,
$3,500
this is
bottles.
another L-arginine product.
He sourced 3,500 bottles. We put it up. And we were waiting for the traffic to come. And you know what? It really never did.
Huh?
Nobody was looking at the article. They were probably looking at the swimsuit issue or something, but nobody really read the article. And
We
so
were selling
only
about, what,
5-10 a day is all.
10 bottles a day? And we were actually saying to each other, hey, we better hope that we sell all this.
Before it expires.
Mm-hmm.
And one day, about 5 months later, we walk into the office and there is 100 cells. And we're like, wait, what's going on? And being from the affiliate world, we know scams and
And we were like,
somebody's
who's frauding us.
Who's
somebody's
doing
trying
this
to-
to
I thought
us?
they were fake.
Yeah, we thought they were fake.
Okay.
And another, like 5-10 minutes later, another 100 orders. And somebody calls us on the phone and says, turn on your TV right now. We turn it on. It's Super Bowl media week, just like this week. And they're building up the Super Bowl and interviewing all the players. Well, as they're interviewing Ray Lewis, a reporter holds up receipts and says, I have proof that you bought deer antler spray, which is banned in the NFL. And he couldn't have done it better because he said, I bought it, but I didn't take it.
And this is when he tore his tricep.
Is this your stuff?
No.
no,
It's
it's
not
just
even
different.
us.
Oh, so everyone's
It was somebody
Googling
else.
it.
Yes.
Everybody's
Oh.
Google.
And
Deer antler
guess, and
spray.
guess who pops up number one?
And every 5 minutes.
DeerAntlerSpray.com.
Every 5
The
minutes. on-
creator loves you.
Yes, that's right.
Every 5 minutes on.
Luck has a lot to do with it, right?
Yeah.
Like we had to hit the nail on the head in like 7 different ways for Bucked Up to be successful. And we just happened to do it really well.
We're very blessed.
You know, it was a lot of experience, a lot of hard work, but there is some luck factor to it.
Oh, I'm just trying to think. I know personally, probably through the last 30 years, 5 or 6 guys that, I'm going to hire the super celebrity to start an energy drink, blah, 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 and they're all dead.
Yeah,
Like their companies
exactly.
are dead. They're alive.
Exactly.
But, well, how did you do it?
So really, when we started selling this deer antler spray, because it sold out in one day, we were paying
So
like
the very next day, GNC calls us and says, how fast can you fulfill 30,000 bottles? And I'm like, wait, what?
we'll bypass all legal.
Yeah.
All legal.
Because normally it takes like a year to get a product into GNC. But they're like, this is hot. We need it as soon as possible. I called the manufacturer and I said, hey, this is Ryan with Deer Antler Spray. He goes, I thought I'd be hearing from you. How many do you need? And I said, I actually need about 50,000 bottles because our website's just getting slammed and GNC's requesting 30,000. How fast can you? He goes, I'll get it to you in 3 weeks. And we were in GNC in 3-4 weeks. We were in GNC.
That's unheard of,
selling-
right?
Oh yeah, and we were selling thousands of bottles, and it was crazy. We were like, okay, but then we started going to expos, and we realized we started going to expos, and we were like, what is everybody else selling? They have a full line of supplements, and they're selling a pre-workout. We were like, what's a pre-workout?
Never taken one.
We actually took our a pre-workout while we were at the expo. Our faces were melting off, and we're like, what?
We're allergic to it.
Who would take this? You're cracked out, right? And we realized beta alanine that's why it's in 99% of the pre-workouts on the market.
Okay.
Because it buffers lactic acid, but it also has that side effect where you feel tingly or itchy for the first 20 minutes or until you start working out.
Until you get circular.
No, niacin turns you red,
Okay.
but beta alanine is just one that makes you tingle for a bit, and then it goes away once you start working out.
Okay.
Yeah. But then we said, hey, we need to come out with a full line of supplements. Let's start off with a pre-workout.
We said, what should we call it?
Yeah. We actually surveyed a bunch of
Surveyed a Facebook group.
Okay, I'm interested in this.
And we said, what should we call it?
And
somebody-
one kid said, Bucked Up.
And we go to GoDaddy, look up buckedup.com. It was available for $1,500.
So guess what we did? Purchased. We didn't negotiate, nothing. We just said, that's a
cheap
great name.
for that. I mean,
It was a great name. And we said, okay, let's do it. What's going to set ours aside or different from everybody else? We actually included deer antler velvet extract in every bottle of pre-workout as well. But what made us completely different is that we said, hey, this is a game-changing formula. It's all non-proprietary blend. You can see exactly what we put in.
oh yeah, it doesn't say blend.
No,
It's
it's
what you get.
Yep. And we put that, and nobody was doing that at the time. Maybe one other person was doing it, like pre-gym or whatever they were called. But they were, at the time, they were even telling us, even our friends were like, don't do it because Cellucor or Optimum Nutrition, they'll knock you off in 2 seconds
just
if you
copy
start
it.
taking it.
Yeah.
But we were like, hey, let them beat us at marketing. That's what we know best. So that's what we did. We came up with a non-proprietary blend, and
The best formula possible. And then we made it taste really good.
way better than
All the other people, you'd almost have to plug your nose to
You're
drink it.
absolutely right.
Yeah.
Back in the day, they would just taste
In 2016, there was no really, really good tasting pre-workout. We were the first
You're right.
really
It's like
good
chemicals.
tasting. Yes. And we actually, our formula is actually pretty simple. We only have 9 ingredients in Bucked Up, but it's easy to flavor, easy to
mask some of the
mask
vitamins.
some of the. Yeah, we didn't really even put vitamins in ours, where everybody else was loading it from vitamins and amino acids, and it was really, really tough to flavor. But ours tasted so good. We sold 1,000 bottles. We launched in 2016. We took it to the LA Fit Expo. We launched 1,000 bottles and sold all 1,000 bottles in 2 days.
Wow.
we were good at sales.
We we were sales guys. Yeah, so. And that's what we did, and we've taken off since. So now we're in every GNC, every vitamin shop, every Walmart. We're in mom and pop supplement shops throughout the country. Now we got introduced in 2020. We did energy drinks, and now we'll sell 65 million energy drinks this year.
Yeah, and we have full nationwide coverage now.
We have distribution throughout the whole
and it can go to any store now. So now all
Now we're
our
at
sales guys,
45,000 stores.
and the sales guys just call and make sales into all the little.
I was
gas
noticing
stations.
though some of these other brands I won't mention, but they're just falling off the shelves. Whether they screwed up legally, lied to people, whatever they did.
Yep.
And that frees up shelf space, right?
Sure.
Right.
And I see your drink sitting in there now.
Yeah. See, and we're actually just going in and taking that empty space, and we can show that when they put the product on their shelves, it sells. There's a company out there called Spins that is third-party data, and so it's not us saying, "Hey, we're fast sellers," because everybody will say, "Oh, we're selling like crazy." No, this is validated by third-party data that our product, when you put it on the shelf, it sells.
Wow.
And so now we're at the point where we're like, we got all this momentum. Now, I mean, this focus, the focus last year and the focus this year, brand awareness and education on our products. And it's just getting out there more and more. And you know what? I love it actually when somebody goes, hey, when we say, hey, have you heard of Bucked Up? And they go, no. And I'm like, well, then we haven't done our job yet. We want to become a Monster or a Red Bull that everybody recognizes our brand.
Is there, so what, maybe some of this is a super secret right now, but like, what is it? I mean, you went from the supplements, from the deer thing, and then the drinks. Is there like a next frontier?
That brings up a good point. We're very good at innovating.
Yeah.
And Ryan's over the head of it. He innovates and makes sure we come out with. We all toss ideas, but he's the one that heads it up and
Comes up
takes
with
it to
formulas, comes up with
fruition. Yeah.
So you got some.
We got
some good stuff coming out.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
We just launched, we launched Mother Bucker at the end of last year.
I love the name.
Against my parents' will. They didn't like that name, but
they didn't like Bucked Up at the beginning either.
How about Bamf?
Brain and muscle fuel. What are you talking about?
that's what we
Yeah, I
tell
like the little. This is like so Utah, you know,
It
the
is.
little kind of innuendo.
Play on words.
Oh,
My
shit.
parents,
We like to be a little edgy, but just not cross the line.
honestly, my parents would never say Bucked Up in the beginning. They would be like, oh, my boys, they own a supplement company. And now they're like, oh, my boys own Bucked Up. You know, now it's
This is not a bad word.
No. And now it's like BYU. BYU said, no, we'll never carry Bucked Up. No way. Now they're asking for $600,000 sponsorship. And we were like, is this approved? Like, can you say Bucked Up at BYU?
But it's kind of now common.
Now it's a more common
Normal.
name.
Yeah.
It's just a brand.
It's like Monster or Red Bull. It's a
yeah,
brand.
like Monsters are, it's like bucked up.
And you really know you've got a brand when people are willing to put maybe something on the back of their window on their car. You got bumper stickers or whatever. You know it's a brand, and we see it all the time. We drive around, we see Bucked Up, and it's not even anybody.
I see it everywhere.
Yeah.
I remember I took my kids to Disneyland, and we go to a Subway in California, and my little daughter happened to be wearing a Bucked Up shirt, and the guy's like behind the counter, do you know what Bucked Up is? And my daughter's like, yeah, ask my dad. And she's like, Dad, tell him. And I'm like, yeah, I'm the janitor there. I clean up a lot of stuff.
We are janitors. Okay, I'm going to pivot a little bit into this because obviously all the people watching this are either entrepreneurs that want to scale
Yep.
or they haven't even started yet. So maybe you could give a few tips on what you would tell them to do first things first to be able to create a brand and scale it and differentiate like you guys have done. Really in any field it applies, right? Sales is sales, marketing is marketing.
Yep.
What advice would you give these kids?
I have some good ones, but go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I think, we were willing to work. Nowadays, it's sometimes we feel like this
Pulling teeth.
It is hard to get people to work hard. But we were willing to put in the hours, and we didn't know what we were doing. We started. We just worked hard and tried to figure it out. And we're just the type that are very competitive. We don't stop till we get it. And I think working hard, but the other one is probably working smart. We've realized now
And
over the
getting
years,
experience.
you need experience and people who know how to do it. If we had it over, we would probably even be better.
Yeah,
of course.
for sure.
You're always hindsight's 2020. We'd probably hire the right people in the beginning to help us grow fast.
So listen to this. So in 2020, we launched our energy drinks. And we actually sold 5 million drinks that first year. and we were like, dude, the drinks are taking off. This is great. Well, we had some guys come in and go, well, how are you doing it? And we were like, what do you mean? We're just selling it. And they're like, oh, no, guys, you're doing this all wrong. And we were like, what are you talking about? We just sold 5 million cans.
Yeah.
And they go, you need to develop a distribution network. And that distribution network is what gets it into the stores. And you sell to the distributors. We ended up going out and finding the former CEO of Dr. Pepper and hired him as our COO.
No way.
And
he
now,
saw the potential. Like he wasn't like just we offered him a job and he's like, oh, I'll help him. Yeah, he said, wow, this really could go. So he took our offer and he's on the board.
And I'll tell you what, hiring someone that already knows how it works just takes you to that whole another level.
Yes.
And so looking back, we were like, hey, we were willing to work. We had some experience by what we were doing, and we actually went and worked for people to learn and how to do it. But then when we were ready to do it, it's now coming down to hiring the right people for ours to scale.
If we would have started and hired this guy in 2020, when we first started, we would be 10 times ahead. We'd be ahead of all even sales.
What's the apprehension? You know what mine was, though, is I just couldn't afford their salary.
That's what we said. We still say that. He came in.
Hey, this guy.
He came in and goes like this. I want this salary. And we both go, you would be making more than everybody here.
Yeah, you'd make more than us. Easy.
And we said this. We go, wait, he actually came. If he pays for himself 10 times over, that means our company's worth that much more. And so what happened is we brought these people with experience in. We paid them their salary. And next thing you know, our energy drinks went from 5 million to 20 million to 30 million, now to 65 million drinks. And believe it or not, our energy drinks only do 15%, 20% of our business.
Holy mac.
We want that to be opposite. We wanted to sell 80% of our business.
But so hiring the right guy, obviously we can see that now. We see, hey, here's the potential of what energy drinks can do. And your multiples on energy drinks are obviously huge.
But working hard, I think, is the number one thing. And number two is try to work smart. Mm-hmm. Get people who have experience that can work smart. And when you work smart, exponential things happen.
And your business scales.
So you guys, I think, are about my age. I just turned 52 a while back.
Yep.
You guys
50. We just turned 50.
Okay. So I was like getting a little worried because I was thinking, about half a century old.
You don't even have gray hairs.
I pluck them. I get a few. But I was like around 50 years old. And a lot of guys our age are thinking about retiring or I shouldn't start something. So to those of you that are older people or younger people, I was reading something and it said a male's prime.
Right now.
Is like 45 to 70.
That's right.
That's when you're not driven purely by rage and ego.
That's when we make the most money too, right? I remember my uncle telling me, "Hey, you learn in your 20s, you start doing
take risks at 30s,
take risks at 30s, and then after you're 40, that's when you start to make the real money."
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Maybe because the rage and ego isn't driving you to do dumb things. Think about dumb things. Just be dumb.
Yeah.
Fortunately,
testosterone.
Yeah. It's like we get wiser with age, and it's like
men do get better the older they get.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Calm
true.
down a
It's
little.
like you have a little less testosterone, a little less, like you say, ego gets in the way of a lot. And, like for us, we tried to be, look, we're just regular people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're regular people.
we're farm
And
boys.
we got lucky. Like, we've been blessed and got lucky. You know what I mean? And our gratitude is crazy because especially here in Utah, the support the people here in Utah give, local brands, unreal. And honestly, this is where it all started.
Utah.
And it
I love Utah.
Yeah,
It's like networking, we all know each other, and it just spread really quick. And we have people come up to us all the time and like, "Hey, we're proud of you," and we don't even really know them, but they're just proud of us for helping us grow this big company out of Utah.
Even still, we go to expos, and like no owners of any other company go to expos, and we're there meeting our customers.
Boots on the ground.
Selling.
They're like, wait a second, you guys are here? Like some people are like, that's awesome. And look, we're just regular people.
I wanted to throw a message for the women listening. I was coaching my daughter the other day. We go to the gym 3 days a week, and she's like, "Tell me how to," because she has a little online sculpture business. She's like, "Well, if men mature and they get better at whatever 40s, and like, what about girls?" And I said, girls mature usually 10 to 20 years earlier mentally.
Yes, they do.
I'm like, so you are probably as smart as I was. She's like 23.
Right now.
Like right now. And she's like, oh. And then she starts messaging me later in the week. I sold this on my site. And I sold this. And I put this new PPC campaign. And I'm like, see?
There you go.
So for the girls out there, you're actually in a I think,
a
smarter
advantage too.
and more mature.
in our office, we're probably way more women than men.
Way more women work at Bucked Up than men.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of our content team what's crazy is even our warehouse manager is a lady, and our CMO is a lady, our CFO is a lady. I mean, we have some of the top positions at Bucked Up that are women,
And they could be younger women too, what I noticed, like in our org, because they're mentally mature.
Yeah.
We have a few guys that are mentally mature at the young age. It's rare.
Yeah.
Usually they're hitting about like late 30s, 40, and then they're like, light bulb. Oh,
like you say, guys are young and dumb. Yeah, when they're young,
And there's some value to always, being willing to learn. I think that's one of the other ones besides work hard, work smart, but just be open. We would never say, like Ryan was saying, we're not the smartest guys, but we want to surround ourselves with good people, and also that share our values, and our work ethic and different things. So we've been blessed to have the right people around us.
I love it. So a couple things. And if you guys have anything more you want to talk about, but the big thing is like some CEOs are approachable on social media, some aren't. Some people just want to send to their companies or whatever is good. Where can people find you guys or buy your products, or what's the best way to steer people to like get to know it?
Well, obviously, buckedup.com is our website. I'm actually on Instagram, Bucked Up CEO. I kind of do some videos on training, like about our products, product knowledge, things like that.
If you look up Jeff Gardner, you'll find.
And Jeff's over all of our international, and he's also over our ambassador program. And Jeff built it to where it's over 75,000 ambassadors that all represent our product.
Whoa.
So
I need to take a class from you too. And I mean,
you need to take a class.
Just when you think you know something, you know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And it's like there's always more sharing.
We can learn together. Yes.
What's great is we never really hired a big celebrity. Like we've never really had a big celebrity that has worked for Bucked Up that we paid. Most of ours were just micro influencers that loved the product, loved the brand, and we showed them how to help us promote it. And really, when we first came out, we were the highest priced pre-workout. And they're like, you're never going to make it work. But we knew what it took to market. We had
Maybe you can help me with an ambassador, micro ambassador template.
We knew we had marketing.
We can do that.
Marketing to put into this so we could help it grow. And we used people to do that. And then we also spend quite a bit of money on online ads. And so we just knew we had to have some margin to be able to do that. And we made it so that everybody has to sell it at the same price. So we have map pricing.
Oh, yes.
And you never can find it lower than that. But nobody needs to go lower because it's all moving because everybody's pushing.
What?
We're pushing ads.
Gold standard.
Ambassadors. Yeah. Everybody's doing their job.
Everything makes the ocean rise. And as the ocean rises, so do all the ships.
This is amazing. Guys, so I want you guys first to go to buckedup.com, but also follow all the socials, especially their Bucked Up site. And I challenge you to acquisition some and see how
Walmart, GNC, Vitamin Shop, they're all carrying it.
I challenge you and see how you feel. I drink probably one a day kind of thing, and I'm like very sensitive to like weird chemicals and things. And the great thing is I haven't like broken out in hives or had mass depression or anxiety or anything like that. It's pretty good. And even like my wife is she's like a super health nut, and she's like, hey, we have some of that. And she's like, those are actually really darn good.
You know what? Like, we're not like a soda company trying to come out with an energy drink. We're more like a supplement company coming up with an energy drink. There's clinically proven ingredients in here, like Alpha Size, that they've done clinical studies on people for memory, focus, dementia, those types of things.
They give that product to Alzheimer's.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, we used real ingredients in this for focus.
I was going to crack a joke about sending these to older political leaders across the country.
Get bucked up.
I don't know who you're talking about.
They would add more efficiency to the decision. No, I'm just... Anyway, back to the Bucked Up.
Yeah.
Is there any last message you want to leave for the inspiring entrepreneurs here or other CEOs that are watching this? Any sort of last tidbits of gold you can give them to implement into what they're doing?
Yeah, I really would say, if you want to get to the next level, just make sure that you're hiring the guys that can help you get there, that have that experience, and then also pay for themselves 10 times over.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's really what it's coming down to. And so
that's huge.
Yep.
That's huge.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much it. Just be open and willing to learn. If you got to have your ego checked at the door and be willing to listen and be willing to adapt and change.
Yep.
High five. Yeah, dude.
Bucked up.
Bucked up.
Get bucked up.
Bucked up. All right, guys. You've been watching Dan's Millionaire Code podcast. I try to bring you the best of any industry on every episode that we do. If you watched our previous episode with $48 billion hedge fund John Pennington, the previous one, you should watch that too. He gives you the nuts and bolts of all financial things. Now you've seen the guys that are best in energy drinks and in their field of supplements. Go buy some Bucked Up stuff there. And remember, this podcast is free. To get this kind of mentorship, some of these like mentor people will charge you $50,000 a year, a month, or whatever it is. This is free. But there is some payola. And I ask you to do a few things. One, on your notes that you've taken from this, I want you to make sure that you are not an asshole. So like if you learned something, execute what you learned, okay? Very important, because I know a lot of people that watch podcasts and things and learn things, but they don't do anything. Okay, and the second thing that I ask you to do is share this on your social media all over the internet, okay? And then the third thing is I would ask you to take 10% of the net profit increase that you make and donate it to a great charity. I think it's so important. By giving to the things that you support to make the world better, you will be blessed beyond belief.
100%.
All right, guys, we'll catch you next week. Dan's Millionaire Code Podcast. Bucked up.
Appreciate it.
Boom, boom.